welcome to another week at Train World. This week we are going to be testing our track and getting some power and getting a train running. To fix the track down, I can use my little pin vise. This is like a little drill, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a little hole through the track, and then I'm going to put one of these little track pins, these little tiny track pins. I'm going to push that into the track itself. So it takes a little bit of doing. So I am positioning my track, make sure it's in the right place. Then I'm going to drill the track out. We use the drill. So excuse me, my hand's going to be in the way a little bit. So we drilled through the plastic and then in the wood. So we just drill in. And then once that hole is drilled, I can then get my track pin, take the drill out, and the drill comes out, and we can get my track pin here, push the track pin in, and then now I can use my little thing to push that into the track place where it's supposed to be going. Or not. Okay, I need to straighten that out a little bit. So, okay, I broke the hole, so I'll have to do that again. So here you can see that little track pin is now pushed through the track and holding that track nicely in place, so it's not going to move. For reliable running of the railway, we need an electrical connection, the wires, approximately about every metre. So I've cut a piece of string that I can use now just to measure a metre. So we go around, and as you can see on this section here, a metre is approximately under where we place the toilet roll under the hills here. So I can drill my holes down through there, and we can put our wires in there through that toilet roll to get them out the other side. And then the same the other way, I can use now my piece of string to measure going the other direction. So we can come around here and use my piece of string, and I'm going to need another power connection somewhere in this center point here as well. So I did mark up power here already. You can see I've marked up some power. So that another power section we'll need to put there. Whilst I'm fixing the track down, it's probably a good idea just to check to make sure that everything works. So I'm going to put a little truck on, give him a run, and make sure that there's no problems on the track. So that all seems okay. Come back the other way. Yeah, so he seems to run okay. So no problems so far. But I need to keep checking it as I go around in case I've made a mistake or the trucks don't stay on. So we're going to drill our hole for the wires going down the toilet roll now. Hopefully the toilet roll will survive and we'll be all in good shape. Actually, do 2 holes. There's one. And then we'll do 2 holes, one for each wire, just make it a bit easier. I could do one in the middle. I don't quite know how that will work out, so we'll do 2 holes. So now we've got our holes ready for our wires. We have attached our wires to the track, so we're getting ready to now put that down. So a little tip, the first thing we've got to do, we make some holes. So with our skewer, I can make a hole through onto the through the other cardboard. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a straw. I'm going to put the cables in the straw, and then we can push the straw through the hole, because that's going to be a lot easier. So now I'm going to push the straw in, so you can see that straw will go through, and then we push the cables through, of course. And then now the cables have come out the other side, so I now need just to tip this up and pull the straw out. So now I've got the straw out, and then now I can put the track back in with the cables, and it's all nicely sorted. We've got to the point where I have a point. So these are called points or turnouts, and they switch the train to go from one direction. Obviously you can go straight on that direction, and you can go on the left on that direction. So what we can actually do is we can get a little electric motor. So this is a little electric motor where it's sort of magnetic type thing, and that then will electrically move left and right. And what we can do is we put the wire inside the actual point itself, and then now electrically the motor will then change the point for me. So it will click backwards and forwards depending on, you know, where the thing moves. Yeah, so that will go backwards and forwards like that. So this goes under the board, and that long wire pokes up through the board into the little hole that we have on the point there. So that goes in that hole. Yeah, and then obviously we just cut that piece of wire off once it's all through at the right height. But say that will sit underneath, and that will operate the point electrically for us. Now, to get this wire through and to have room to move it, I'm going to have to drill a hole. So I'm going to drill a hole about here where that wire is going in. Going to drill a nice big hole, and then we will be able to get the point motor up through that particular hole. So I've got them drilled ready. So there's a bigger drill bit that we need, and we can then drill that hole out. Or we can break our power base as well. I may need to cut that power base. So let me cut the power base, and then I'll come back and we'll drill the hole. That point motor will go in there, and there's plenty of room for it to move backwards and, well, you can't really see, backwards and forwards. There's a lot of room in there, so I've got lots of space. So then that point can go back, and we can keep fixing the track down as we go along. Well, I'm about to fix this flexible straight, which will be by the station. And as you know, the flexible track does tend to bend a little bit, so sometimes you need to check to make sure it's straight. So don't tell Sylvia, but if you borrow a little mirror, can you see just about here, it's not quite straight. There's a bit of a bend in the track. So using a little bathroom mirror, you can actually see the reflection of the track very easily. So if it's a bit bent or out of shape, it's a quick and easy way to check that out. So I'm going to need to get a ruler. I've got my ruler here. So I can put my ruler against the track, straighten it out a little bit, and then check it again in the mirror. Most of the track is down now, so I've gone all the way around, and now I am just on this last little section here. Now you can see here, I've got a little bit of a problem. That the track is, I think, is a bit too long. This one's a bit too long. So by the time I've made all the adjustments and everything, I think if I just cut the track down a little bit, you'll see I've just marked up the track with some black pen. So I'm going to cut this piece of track here to make that shorter, so then all of this will fit okay. Well, the inside loop is fixed down now, so I can run my truck all the way around. And it's all good. Nothing coming off. Here it comes out the other side. So yeah, all runs nicely, all pinned down. I could even probably hook up some electricity and run a train on it. This is the underside of the layout. So you can see where my wires are coming through now. Now this section of track, remember, is the bit of track that we moved down. So I've moved it down. It was a little bit higher up, so now I've moved it down as far as it goes at the moment. So you can see on the other side. So there you go, so that's going down now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install my magnet on my train, and I will then give it a test run and see how it copes with the slopes. Well, these are electrical connectors. So I can use those to put the wires in. So I'm going to do a little bit of wiring up one of those. You can break them up into pieces. So the normal name for these things, we call them chocolate blocks, because I guess they sort of look like chocolate blocks. When you break a piece off, it looks like a bit of chocolate. So yeah, the little chocolate block connectors, we're going to use that on to connect up some power. I've wired up the circuit, so we're going to give it a test run. So here we go. Choo-choo! Yeah, well, the track works okay. I'm happy with that. And then we've got to just look at the slope. So on the left-hand side, that's that slope that we need to sort out. The moment I put carriages on it at the moment, is not going to go up and down. And you see, look, it struggles there as well. So I need to give it a quick test run. Test run with one carriage. So yeah, even with one carriage, he struggles up that back. Now, I don't have the magnets on the train yet, so I think that's probably my next job, to install the magnets on the train, and then we see how that improves the traction going back up and down the hills. So yeah, with one carriage it will struggle. With 2 and 3, definitely it won't even make it. So next job is to install the magnets on the train. Well, you probably remember our power base system. So we've got the metal plates, we've got some little magnets here. So what I need to do now is to cut a little plastic pouch out of here, so I can then put a magnet in, and then we're going to screw it to the bottom of the train. So first thing we're going to do is to cut out our little magnetic pouch. Just carefully cut around the line and cut around it, and try and cut that out. Okay, I don't know if that's going to push out. No, it's not going to push out. Maybe it's going to be easier to use scissors. Here's one. That's quite tough plastic. I'm going to get a pair of scissors. Well, you see, we've got a tiny little plastic pouch. So I'm going to use that to put the magnet in. So we get a little magnet. So the little magnet will sit inside the pouch, and then I'm going to fix that to the bottom of the train where the wheels go. So that's going to be fixed to the bottom of the train. So let's go ahead. We've got to drill some holes. I've got my magnet stuck on the bottom of the train. There you see the little magnet there. Now the problem I have is that it does not go over the points. It gets jammed. So I've just been on the telephone to the people that sold me it. They're going to look at it and they're going to come back to me with some answers, hopefully. So more technical hitches. Anyway, maybe we'll carry on with something else instead of messing around with the magnets. Those of you with very keen observation will notice that I am running the locomotive with the red bottom, not the black one, which is different from the one that I ran originally. So this one pulls 3 coaches, no problem, the black one doesn't. So that's a mystery I'm going to have to solve another week. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. We'll see you next week.
8:30 p.m.